Hi everyone, hope you all are good. We are here for grade 7 math. You can find all the lessons on aplusstudents.com. You have to log in there using your email address and password is provided by the administrator. You have to select math from the subject tab, scroll down to grade 7 math and then click on view all lessons. There you can find a list of the chapters. We're going to start with the chapter proportional relationships. Please make sure you have your notebook and pencil so that you can note down the important examples as well. Here I'm on grade 7 math. Chapter we're on right now is proportional relationships. Let's just start with the lesson that is find the constant of proportionality from a table. The table shows how the total number of notes in Linda depends on the number of hours she spent in class. So we are given a table that represent the time in class and the number of pages. How many pages does Linda take during an hour of the class, right? So let's just look at the table. We have two horizontal rows. They are time in class, that is X, and number of pages, that is Y, right? So basically the proportional quantity have a constant ratio. Ratio is called the constant of variation, and the constant of variation often represents a rate or a cost, right? We need to calculate the constant of variation. We have to do y by x. You see, you have constant variation, that is y divided by x. 12 divided by 12 is 1, 15 is 1. That means the constant of variation is 1. Linda takes one page of notes during an hour of class. So let me just start with the test questions, then that would be more easy to understand. Let's just start with the test questions. This table shows how the amount of time that a receptionist named Arjun spends on phone is related to the number of phone calls he routes to employees. So we are given the table, the phone calls routed and the minutes of the phone. They are representing how many times does it to route one phone call. So basically we need to calculate the um, proportional relationship. So the proportional relationship is y by x. Look at the first column. You need to add y by x, that is 10 divided by 2, and then 15 divided by 3 times 2 is 10, 3 times 5 is 15. So 5 if is the 5 minutes it takes to route one phone call. The correct option is 5 minutes. Okay, the table shows how the amount of jam Rachel has jarred is related to the number of days she spent making jam, right? So, how many liters of jam does Rachel jar each day, right? So, how much jam he jar one each day? You have to calculate y by x, right? So that is 12 divided by 4. Let's just do y by x, that is 12 by 4 and 18 by 6. So 4 times what number is 12? 4 times 3 is 12 and 6 times 3 is 18. So the constant of proportionality is 3 liters. The correct option is the correct option is 3 liters. Option number is the correct option. The table shows how the cost of Jeff's graduation picnic depends on the number of attendees. So you need to calculate the cost of attendees. So you have to do y by x. So 12 divided by 3 and 16 divided by. So which is the correct option? The correct option is $4. Option number 1 is the correct option. This table shows how the total cost, how the total Anne has walked depends on the number of trips he has made to school. So you need to calculate how many kilometers Anne walk per trip. So you need to calculate y by x, that is 9 by 9 by 18. So which is the correct option? Very good. That is 1 kilometer. Option number 2 is the correct option. This table shows how the total length Shelby has knit depends on the number of nights she spent knitting. How many centimeter of scarf does Shelby knit each night? So you need to calculate the y by x, that is 6, 2 and 12, 4. So we correct option. That is 3. The correct option is option number 1. That is 3 meters. This table shows how the total number of appetizer recipes Jackie knows depends on the number of weeks she attends culinary school. How many appetizer recipes does Jackie learn per week? That is two appetizer recipes. Okay, you can complete the lesson by yourself. Just move on to next lesson. Okay, the next lesson is identify graphs of the proportional relationships. Identify the graphs of a relationship. Let's just start with the example. This equation describes a relationship between x and y. Y is equal to 2x. Complete the table and select the graph that shows this relationship. We need to complete the table first, right? So each in a table of x and y values represents an ordered pair, and xy tells you the location of a point on the coordinate plane. The x coordinate tells you the horizontal position and the y coordinates tell you the vertical position, right? This is the about the table. Now look, first thing we need to do is we need to calculate the missing values we are given when x equals 2. So replace the x with a variable in the question. So 2 times 2 is 4. That means when y is 4. Same way when x is 3, that is 2 times 3 equals 6. So the when x is 3, y is 6, right? Now we have our table of values. We need to complete the graph and then join them by making a line. You can see these points 0, 0. The graph is starting from the origin. X is 1, y is 2, x is 2, y is 3, x is 6, y is 4, x is 5, y is 10. So you just have to join these points and make a straight line. So here is the graph of the proportional relationships. So the graph of the proportional relationships is always a straight line passing through the origin. Let's just start with the test questions. This equation describes the relationship between x and y with 4x, right? So complete the table and select the graph that the first thing we're going to do is complete the table. So y equals 4. So x is 1. So 4 times 1 is we have 4. So when x equals to y equals 4 times 2, that is 8. So when x is 2, y is 8. So now we have to plot these points on the graph and we need to calculate find the table here again. 0, 0, 1, 4, 2, 8, 3, 12, right? Now at the graph, let's see which graph has those points. 0, 0, that must be on the origin. Graph is not starting through the origin, so that is not the correct option, right? We're going to look at the other one. Okay, 0, 0, x is 0, y is 0. X is 1, y is 4. X is 2, y is 8. X is 3, y is 12, right? So the second option is the correct option. This equation describes the relationship between x and y equals 4x. Complete the table and select the graph that shows the relationship. So you just use the given equation, that is y equals 4x. So we need to replace x with 2. So 4 times 2 equals 8. So you have 8 here. And then we have x equals 4. 4 is 16. So here you have 16. So we have the table of values. Let's just draw the table over here so that we can. Now look at the 1, 4. Okay. 1, 4, 3, 12, 4, 16. Right? Here is it. Use match it to the graph and see that is the correct option. 0, 0. X is 1, y is 4. Then x is 2, y is 8. Then the next one is x is 3, y is 12, and x is 4, y is 16. So you can see all these 4 points are on the given graph. So the correct option is the given graph. Option 1 is the correct option. Okay, this equation describes a relationship between x and y. Now, the equation describes a relationship between x and y. Y equals x. Let's just complete the table of values first. Y equals 5x, 0. So that is 5 times 0. 5 times 0 is 0. 5 times 1 is 5. So here's the missing value 0, 0, and 1, 5. So let's just see which graph match with the table of values. The table of values is x, y, 0, 1, 5, 2, 10, 3, 15. Here is the point 0, 0. So x is 1, y is 5, x is 2, y is 10, x is 3, y is 15, right? So option number 2 is the correct option. The correct option is option number 2. Okay, the next one is this equation describes a relationship between y equals 6x, right? So y is equal to 6x. Replace the x with 0. That is 6 times 0. Then 1. That is 6 times what is 6. So the values are 0, 0, 1, 6, 212 and 318. Let's just match the graph those values and see which is the correct option. Here we have 0, 0, x is 1, y is 6, x is 2, y is 13, sorry 12, and x is x and y is 18. Option number 1 is the correct option. Okay, you can complete the lesson by yourself later today. Let's move to next lesson. The next lesson is find the constant of proportionality. Basically, for graph, we are going to calculate the uh, slope, right? So slope is the constant of proportionality. Is how the amount of dough Jonathan has prepared is related to the number of hours has spent work in the bakery. So basically, we are going to calculate the slope and the graph and use the slope, the formula calculate the slope, that is change in y divided by change in x. So the slope is 2, that the constant of variation is 2 kilograms 1 hour per hour. Let's just start with the test questions. This graph shows how the amount Sam earns from work depends on the number of hours he. So you need to slope, actually just select any 2 points on the graph, calculate the slope. So 0, 0, and the other one is x is 10, y is 50. We're going to calculate the slope, that is 50 minus 0 is 50, 10 minus 0 is 10, so 10 times 5 is 50. The slope is 5. The correct option is 5. The slope is $5 per hour. Option number two is the correct option. Shows how the amount of Jonathan has prepared is related to the number of hours he has spent working at the bakery. What is the constant of so for the constant of variation, any of the 2 points on the graph, whatever points they are, you can use just 2 points. So the first one is 0, 0. Second one is x is 2, y is 4. Let's check the slope, that is change in y, 4 minus 4, 2 minus 0 is 2. So the slope is 2. So the correct option is 2 kilograms per hour. So we need to calculate the slope actually, right? So for the slope, we need to find 2 points on the graph, and then we're going to calculate the slope, that is change in y divided by change in x. So here is the first point and here is the second one. X is 0, 0, y is 20 and 50. So let's just calculate the slope, that is change in y, 50 minus 0 is 50, and change in x, that is 20. So we have 5 divided by 2 and that equals 2.5. The correct option is 2.5. So that is 2.5. Option number one is the correct $5 per seed packet. The correct option is 2 miles per practice. This graph shows how the amount of money Alana makes from selling lemonade is related to the number of cups sold. What is the constant of variation? So for the constant of variation, we can use any of the 2 points on the graph and we need to calculate the slope. Here is the first one and here is the Second one, when x is 0, 0, x is 2, y is 4. We need to calculate the slope, that is 4 divided by 2 equals to option number. The constant of variation is $1 per cup. Oh, 0.50, it is not 1 cup. Let's just start with the test questions. The next lesson is write equations for proportional. Find the missing number to complete, then that gives you. So y is equal to the missing number times x. We need to find what number times x it is, right? The linear functions are formed y equals mx plus b. Find m, look at it, that every time the x goes up by 1 and y grows up by 5. This means the m is equal to 5. Basically, you can see the relationship between the values. 1 times 5 is 5. 2 times 5 is 10. Then, like, we have a relationship between x and y values, right? So, for the same ways, the correct option is y equals 5x. Option number. Who the correct option is y equals 5x. Let's just start with the test questions. Finding number to complete the relationship that gives rule for this table. So which is the correct option? Just find the relationship between x and y values. 1 times 5 is 5. 2 times 5 is 10. 3 times 5 is 15. See the values, so we are multiplying by values are changing, and y is the missing number is 5x. So the correct option is y equals 5x. Option number 1 is the correct option. Okay, fill in the missing number to complete the linear equation that gives the rule for this table. So let's just find the relationship between the value 0 times 0 is 0, 1 times 4 is 4, 2 times 4 is 8, and 3 times 4 is 12. So y is equal to 4x. The correct option is y is equal to 4x. Option number 1 is the correct option. Fill in the missing number to complete the linear equation that gives the rule for this table. So, which is the correct option? That is y equals 15x. Option number two is the correct option. Fill in the missing number to complete the line that gives the rule for this table. So, which is the correct option? That is y equals 21x. Option number two is the correct option. Fill in the missing number to complete the linear equation that gives the rule for this table. So, which is the correct option? Y equals 8x. Option number two is the correct option. Fill in the equation that gives the rule for the table. So, which is the correct option? That is y equals 14x. Option number one is the correct option. Okay, and complete the lesson by yourself later today. So we are working on grade 7 math. Chapter we were working on is proportional relation. Lessons we have covered today are finding equality from a table, identify graphs of proportional relationships, find the constant of proportionality from a graph, and write equations for proportional relationships. So please make sure before the next session you can complete all the practice questions for the lessons we just did. So any questions you can please ask if you have any. No questions. Or no questions. Okay, then that's all for today. See you in the next session. Bye everyone.